evening, everyone. It's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call tonight's Board of Selectmen meeting to order. If you would please join me, those in the audience, to the Pledge Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. All right, first up on tonight's agenda, we have public forum. This is limited to 5 minutes per topic. Discussion or comments about town employees or agency members shall be avoided so as not to violate individuals' rights. Is there anyone here this evening for a public forum? All right, seeing none, why don't we go on to the regular scheduled agenda. First up, we have a public hearing regarding 169 8 Lots Road, which involves a 61A change. Before I turn it over to the clerk, I'd like to declare the meeting open.
Public hearing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is as advertised in the October 26th, 2017 Millbury-Sutton Chronicle. Town of Sutton Board of Selectmen notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that the Sutton Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing to discuss the town's options under Mass General Law, Chapter 61A, Section 14, Tuesday, November 21st, 2017 at 7 o'clock p.m. The meeting will be held in the Sutton Town Hall regarding Chapter 61A property, which is located at 169 8 Lots Road, Assessors Map 28, Parcel 3. This 12.37 acre lot will have 5.6 plus or minus acres removed from Chapter 61A and sold. This meeting will be held on the third floor of the Sutton Municipal Center, 4 Uxbridge Road, Sutton, Mass. 01590. The public is invited to attend this public hearing.
All right, thank you. Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, this is a request from the owner of this property, Mr. Cronin, to remove 5.6 acres from a lot up on 8 Lots Road. We did forward this to all key departments, and they've all responded that there's no need for this property.
All right, excellent. Is there anyone here involved in this public hearing?
Hi, Mr. Chair.
Do you want to come up, introduce yourself to the community?
Mel Chatroni on behalf of Mr. Cronin,
Okay.
the individual seeking to reclassify the property.
All right, thank you.
Just tell us a
Yeah,
little bit
tell
about
us a little
the
bit about-
property itself and what.
You want to lift that chair?
Yeah, sure. So this is part of a larger parcel. Mr. Cronin intends to subdivide it into 5 buildable lots. I believe he's already gone through planning board. I did submit a letter along with the P&S purchase and sale agreement back on October 3rd, indicating which of the 5 lots he wishes to sell first and reclassify. And I believe, like it was already stated, it's about 5.6 acres that he intends to transfer. We submitted the P&S and gave notice in the event the town wished to exercise the right of first refusal.
All right, excellent, thank you.
And one other thing, this is one of a number of lots that Mr. Cronin is interested in taking out of 61A. I think the next public hearing will be next month.
Okay.
Just FYI.
All right, thank you. All right, why don't we open it up for discussion by the board? John, do you have any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As long as all the other town departments, I feel as though there's no need for us to take any action.
Thank you. Dave?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick question. What is the property being used for now?
It's just vacant land currently.
Okay. All right, I guess I'm in John's camp. Unless we have some need for the property, I don't think there's really much we can do about it anyway, so that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike?
Just one quick question. The microphone works great, huh? I don't have to lean in. Thought I was being loud. The echo. Thank you for coming, by the way, on his behalf. It's 12.37 acres, the lot now, and 5.6 are in 61A. What's the other 6 point whatever percentage now? Is it just like Selectman Hall had asked the question, is just vacant the whole thing, or just that 5.6?
Yeah, so attached to the purchase and sale agreement I did submit to the town, you'll see in that portion, that would be, there's 2 more lots. One is under agreement. I think I'm coming back on December 5th.
So that would be
Additional 61A that he needs to remove from 61A. Additional properties covered under 61A.
at 12 point, so-and-so, it altogether is the 5 lots?
Yes.
Including, I got it. Thank you.
That's correct.
Perfect, that makes sense now. No other further questions,
Excellent.
Mr. Chairman.
I'm going to echo the sentiment of my colleagues. I don't see this as necessarily being a town issue. If Mr. Cronin would like to dispose of these in a way that is beneficial to him, I don't see any issue at this moment.
We do get a 5-year rollback in taxes, so we do account for that, and it's a positive situation for the town.
Is there anyone else that'd like to speak to this issue here in the audience tonight? All right, seeing none, why don't we have a vote to close the public hearing then? Is it a roll call vote?
I don't think so.
No.
All right, all those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
All right, passes 4-0. All right, next up, we need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, motion to not exercise the town's option under MGL Chapter 61A for property located at 169 8 Lots Road, map number 28, parcel 3.
Second?
Heard a motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is a public hearing dealing with 11 John Road involving a Class 1 and 2 license. I'd like to declare that public meeting open. Dave?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This was advertised in the November 2nd, 2017 Millbury Sutton Chronicle, Town of Sutton Board of Selectmen Notice of Public Hearing, 11 John Road, Sutton, Mass., Class 1 new and Class 2 second-hand vehicles. Legal notice of Board of Selectmen meeting on November 21st, 2017 at 7 o'clock p.m., located at the Town Hall in Sutton, 4 Uxbridge Road, Sutton, Mass. 01590. Notice is hereby given under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 140, Section 58, subsection C, Class 1 and 2 license, Environmental Equipment Sales and Services. Dan Cower, President and owner, has applied for a Class 1 and 2 license at the location of 11 John Road, Sutton. The public is invited to attend.
All right, thank you very much. Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a request for a Class 1 and Class 2 license at 11 John Road in Sutton. Mr. Cower is a very patient man. This process has been going on for some time. He was informed that he needed to go to town meeting to get a zoning change. He did that, and that was approved, I think, unanimously. The request obviously is now before the Board of Selectmen. He still has to go to the Planning Board for final permit approval, but the Board of Selectmen needs to make a motion to approve this.
Excellent. Is there anyone in the audience tonight that would like to come up and address the public with this issue?
Yes, sir. I'm Dan Cower. I'm the owner of Environmental Equipment, and I appreciate all the town support over the 12, 18 months we've been attempting to do this. I started this business from scratch last year, July, and the property at 11 John Road was perfect for our operation. So what we do is we sell garbage trucks. We sell the packer bodies, not typically the chassis that they're mounted on. And the zoning was good at the time to do that. And I didn't think it'd be an issue because it's not really my intent to sell chassis, new or used. But what the problem happened, I figured out after the fact, is I can't even demo. So if Heil, the company I represent, has a demonstrator truck, a new front loader, a new rear loader, a roll-off, without a Class 1 or Class 2 deal, I can't even take it to my customers to show it. So my intention is that, and I've said this from the start, not to sell chassis. It doesn't mean I never would, but it would be a rare exception if I ever did. And not to have many. Selling garbage trucks isn't like an automotive or a pickup truck. We don't have hundreds in my lot. You're all welcome to come by. 1, 2, 3 at any one time in the yard. People buy these build to order. They don't typically, we don't have like a big showroom and like a car lot going around. So I need it more to demonstrate the trucks to my customers, and it would just help the business grow, and I'd appreciate any support from the town.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. John, do you have any comments?
No, This is off of 146 on John Road. It's an industrial site there, and I think what he's doing, it's a nice, clean operation, and we wish you well.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Dave?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dan, thank you for coming down and speaking with us tonight. I'm in agreement with John. I think this is an excellent location for this kind of thing. And we talk a lot about trying to encourage business growth in town, and this seems like an excellent opportunity to do that.
Thank you.
And that's what I would like to do. So we wish you good luck.
I appreciate that, thank you, sir.
Excellent. Mike?
Thank you. Thank you for coming tonight in front of us and, standing through the process and understanding, I should say, of that sometimes you have to jump through a few extra hoops, but hopefully everything we can move it along quickly tonight on our end, and the planning board can do the same on theirs, since it's been close to 18 months, and it sounds like it's something that would definitely be needed to keep a profitable business running. So I'm all for it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, and I'm in complete agreement with my colleagues. I mean, to me, it seems like common sense. I mean, you're not looking to build a massive sales lot. You just want to be able to operate your business in an efficient manner that's profitable. So I see no significant issue. You've done all the due diligence. You've done the work. And it's just now in the planning board's hands. So I see no issue, at least before this board.
Great, thank you.
Quite welcome.
Motion.
Is there anyone else in the public that would like to comment on this? All right, seeing none. Why don't we take a vote to close the public hearing then? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes 4-0. And now I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the Class 1 and 2 at John Road to environmental equipment sales and services contingent upon the approval from the planning board with an expiration date of January 1st, 2019.
Second.
Hearing a motion and a second. Any further comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0. Congratulations and good luck with the final step.
I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you,
Have a
Dan.
good
Business.
night.
You too.
All right. Yeah, I'll do that right before I give it to Jim. All right, next up, we have the 2018 Board of Selectmen meeting schedule. Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is usually not a big agenda item, but, we've had to kind of work with the schedule a little bit because of the state elections in the fall, the primary in September and the general election in November. So January through August are pretty much the same, first and third Tuesdays of every month. In September, and these are our recommendations, this is what we came up with. The primary is on the 11th. The state primary is on the 18th. So we planned on holding one meeting in September on September 11th. I won't be here the 24th. I'll be attending ICMA. In October, we've scheduled 3 meetings on the 2nd, the 3rd, the 16th, and the 30th. The state general election is November 6th, so we'll have 1 meeting in November on November 13th. So essentially, we're almost going every 2 weeks, but it's just the situation. We're going to have 3 meetings in October, 1 in September, and 1 in November. If the board is okay with that, then we'll print it out and execute.
All right, excellent, thank you. John, do you have any comments?
No, that's a busy time of year for us, and I think that 3 meetings, we should be able to attend them.
Thank you. Dave?
Yeah, do we know when Fall Town meeting would be in there? Any idea?
Fall
October
town
15th.
meeting is probably the 15th.
Yeah, October 15th.
October 15th.
Oh, I missed that, sorry. There we go. All right, that's all I have. I'm good.
Thank you. Mike?
I'm perfectly fine with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, as you said, Jim, it's even when we get into the fall, it's still almost every 2 weeks.
Right.
And if there's a significant issue that comes up, we can come in and we can address that as a special meeting, or if we need to come in and sign something, we can do that,
That's perfect.
during the day. So, yeah, I see no problem with this.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. All right, the last item that we have, which is usually the second thing, is approval of the Board of Selectmen minutes from November 7th.
Mr. Chairman, I move to accept the Board of Selectmen's minutes from November 7th, 2017 as presented.
Second.
Hearing a motion second. Any further comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. All right, next up, we have town administrators update. Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a few updates for the board. The FY19 process is underway. Capital plans requests are out to department heads. They're due back December 14th. The budgets will be going out to department heads on December 7th, and they'll be due back January 10th, 2018. One of the updates, and I'll give you additional updates on healthcare in the near future, but the most recent update is we got the annual count of students attending Blackstone Valley Vocational School. We have 12 additional students attending that school, which will mean an increase probably about $150,000. So that's a big number. We'll have to include that in our budgeting process, obviously. That number either goes up a little bit, goes down, or it's unpredictable. And this year we happen to have 12 additional students attending. The barn at Shaw Farm. Our insurance provider, Maya, is no longer insuring any building that is used solely for storage. There are a number of buildings in town that are insured by Maya or were insured by Maya that were used for storage. The most prominent is the barn at Shaw Farm, but there are others as well. The boathouse down at Marion's Camp on the water. The winter house down at Marion's Camp, which is right now vacant and not used for anything, not even storage at that site. The other barns, out barns that at Shaw Farm that aren't they're open for the public. I mean, it's pretty much you just walk in. So Maya said we're no longer covering these. So if you want, you can secure them, and then we can look for third-party insurance coverage, but we won't cover them. I felt that the barn at Shaw was the most important building. The winter house or the boathouse down at Marion's Camp. Yeah, if we lost them, it would be sad, but would be easily replaced. Not only the buildings, but the equipment inside those buildings. Goddard Lodge was exempt. They are insuring that because that will be reused. We're in the process of renovating that. So the issue is it will cost us right now $3,200 this year, and that will likely go up in future years. It'll be an annual cost to the town. And the question is for the board, and this doesn't have to be answered tonight, is the board interested in retaining this property? Right now it's in a fairly dilapidated condition, and it could be a significant liability if anybody got access to it. There are areas that have probably a 15 to 18 foot drop off that are not secured. You can walk right into it and fall down through that pit. And I'm assuming that was used for the cows and the haying process, and however it was used. I'm not a farmer, but it is an issue. So the question is for the board, and I don't think I need an answer tonight. I just want to bring it to your attention. We did have a former selectman, Maynard, recommending that we look at selling the barn boards as well as the support beams of that property, post and beam. But the barn was built in the 1950s, give or take, so it's not historic. I don't know that you'll find a significant value of that material. We did have Bob Chauvin from Waters Farm go down and take a look at it. We've had, I think we've inquired with one other person, but Brian Stevenson to take a look at as well. But it doesn't look like there's anything of significant value for that property. So ultimately, if it was decided to tear it down, we'd just salvage it and clear the site. That would be tough to take, obviously. That's the second property. Rita Shaw's house was the first, and Shaw Barn would be the second. But right now, we're paying $3,200 a year just to keep it insured, and it's not being used for anything other than some temporary storage. So that's just an update. Library extension grant, Betsy Perry informed me that the library is looking to get an extension on the library grant from MBLC. The meeting at MBLC was scheduled for December 7th. They were looking at a 3-month extension. As of the library trustees meeting yesterday, the board decided not to file an extension. So as of now, they're not going for an extension on December 7th, and they've agreed to move on. So Chain of Lights will take place December 2nd from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Same situation. Samantha Whittier is running it for the town, and she's doing a terrific job. This is an annual event that is probably 22 years old at this point in time, started by Gary Valancourt and a couple of other business owners in town. The trolleys are all donated, and it's really a great event for the family. And the transfer station will be closed on November 23rd. Obviously, that's Thanksgiving. It will reopen on Friday and Saturday, normal hours. Board of Selectmen's meeting room makeover. Pam Nichols and Christine Hicks and others are working on recording equipment. You see it, the new cameras up here tonight. Obviously, the audio is improved. We can sit back a little bit from the mics. We went out to bid, and we've retained Fairview Millwork out on 146 to do the desk. It'll be a pretty attractive desk. We will determine the height of the desk and whether we need new chairs. I think the desk height will be lower than this current height, so you don't have to, lean up so high. We're planning on painting this room and cleaning the carpets and really doing a makeover in here, and hopefully with minimal disruption to the meeting, Board of Selectmen and other groups that meet in this room. So hopefully that goes smoothly. And all of the recording equipment and cameras, et cetera, are on behalf of the agreement we have with Charter and Verizon as part of the PEG account, the capital equipment. So no town funds were used on purchasing any of this recording infrastructure. So that's all I have for updates.
Excellent, thank you. John?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jim, thanks for a nice update.
Sure.
In regards to the barn on Shaw Farm, I don't think I have to ponder a decision of leaving it and securing it or getting it removed. I'd like to see it sometime. My opinion is if we could go out and see if we could have it demolished. I think it's no value to the town, and all as it does now, it invites people to be onlookers to increase the liability on the site. Matter of fact, the other two, the outbuildings and the other one,
Right.
they're in the same condition is what that is, and there's really no value, and I don't think it enhances the site on what it is right now. But with all those things gone, I think it would make the site that much better. And matter of fact, there's no power going to the site right now.
That's right.
And that's another crucial thing right now, because someday we will have power there.
Yeah.
And all the poles are ready and everything. So that's my opinion on that. Regards to the makeover here, thank everyone. It's well deserved, and it'll look forward to being to a new room. But I hope that the budget, regardless of the height of the new desk and everything, that we would have new chairs.
I'll
Thank
make
you.
a point of that.
Dave?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's tough to follow. So an increase of 12 students is like a little shocking.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
a big
It's
number.
and it really isn't a bubble class. It's just for some reason, I don't know what it is, but the admissions process at Blackstone is, according to Dr. Fitzpatrick, a blind process, and and it's really based upon academic performance and test scores, et cetera. And apparently, we had a good group of students applying and approved to attend.
Yeah, there's a bit of a lottery element to it, I think, isn't there, as well? I mean, you got to pass all the admissions to get in, but I thought after that, there's a bit of a lottery element. Maybe I'm wrong.
There's an effort, that's for sure.
But anyway, I mean, as you said, it comes and goes, and you deal with
Yeah.
what comes up, so.
Right.
In regards to the insurance, what type of insurance is it? What kind of coverage do we get? Is there any liability insurance
It's
in that?
liability
There is
insurance predominantly. But, we probably have full insurance, including fire. Theft is irrelevant for this,
Yeah.
but probably covered for that as well. But really, what I was concerned about and pushing to get Maya to get us a third-party insurer is that I was concerned about the liability, particularly of
I
that
would agree.
building. And Matt Stencil and the highway folks did a great job trying to secure it and boarding it up. And they did a good job at that. And my concern, if somebody gets into that building and falls, we might not find them for some period of time. And it's a massive liability in my opinion.
And when is the current policy up?
Probably July 1.
July 1, so we have some time in the spring if we plan to sort of
We do.
execute on taking the building down. Yeah, I guess that was my concern. I mean, certainly if it was just property coverage, you could just let it go, but the liability insurance is important to keep, so.
Yeah, it is, in my opinion, yeah.
But I would be in John's camp. If there's a way you can salvage something, that's fine, but I'm not sure that would be my priority. I would think at this point, dealing with it prior to the insurance policy coming up might be the goal we should try to meet, so. That's my thought. I would say I appreciate your highlighting, the tradition involved with Chain of Lights, and recognizing the Valancourts for their efforts to start it all those years ago.
Yeah.
And certainly Samantha Whittier she has done an excellent job in this and with other things that she's been involved with. She's been great in our community, so that's a really good thing.
I agree.
And I'm with John. I think somehow you seem to suggest that maybe this table isn't as nice as other tables you've seen, but.
No, it's fine. The masking tape holds up well. And,
Yeah,
you know.
but it's been a long time, so I think it's due for an upgrade, and it will look nice when it's done. So appreciate the effort of everyone involved, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mike?
Yes, start right there with the table. I'd love to see it a little lower, instead of leaning up, but I'm looking around and I'm seeing the different parts of the particle board starting to show now. But again, to start there, to continue there with Pam Nichols and her team, already you can see the difference of the new cameras and the microphones, and that's fantastic. I'm sure it won't make too much of a disruption. To the top with the Blackstone, how do we know? Because I'm a little confused with that, and I kind of want to continue a little further on Selectman Hall's question. And I didn't even know that they've done the interviewing process for the final decision-making of, I think they're still in the testing phase of who's going. Are they doing this off of?
This is the number of students attending as of October 1st, 2017. So this is the
I got
class
it.
from last year that we're counting and
Counting
getting
now.
billed
All right.
for. So the upcoming year, the number of students that are selected to attend in September 1
18.
will be the count that we get in fiscal year 19.
November 19.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Sorry.
No
Thank you
problem,
for
no
clarifying that. The barn, I'm in agreement from what I've heard so far. It seems like if we're not covered on liability insurance, if we're gonna do away with that, it's just an accident waiting to happen. My opinion, if it was built in the 50s, it doesn't seem like there's that much historical value to it.
That's true.
And value in the material that they used to build it.
That's the key, is that the wood that they used wasn't historic big barn boards. It was just
50s
farm
cheap,
lumber.
get it done.
Right.
And if it's boarded up for the people that, my second thought on it was, okay, well, the scenery and the view of the barn being there. But if we have to keep it boarded up, it's gonna look like the Beehive, even worse up there.
Mm-hmm.
That we're just gonna have this building that's got boards all over the entries and
Right.
secured so people can't go in it.
Right.
So what type of view is it going to create? Again, process, it says here to see about a company taking the boards would be a great idea to decrease the cost of removing it, but
Yeah.
I think that it would seem that, to me, that it would be a liability more than an asset than to keep it.
Unfortunately.
Chain of lights, can't wait. You know, it's great to see, you know, Sam doing such an incredible job to keep it rolling year after year after year, and pushing it forward with continuously adding stops too, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So that would be, looks good for me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Oh, one more thing, real quick.
Sure.
You know what, one thing that was brought up to me was the nursing program at Blackstone. They started a nursing program, I think, or they've added the nursing program to it. So that might be a reason for,
They've had that
Increase.
for a long
Yeah, no,
while.
that's been
Yeah.
in existence.
has
But,
it?
yeah, there was some, I can't recall it, but there was some,
There was a few years ago, Dr. Fitzpatrick came forward with
there
a
was an issue
suggestion.
with, yeah,
Yeah, he wanted to add 2 or 3, maybe a veterinarian program, maybe like a pre-law program.
an engineering program.
Yeah, and the towns generally are not supportive of
Right,
that.
and
They
that
weren't.
that was voted down.
Yeah.
You know, he needed 9 communities to agree, or 10 communities, and I think 9 voted or 10 voted no. You know, ultimately, we didn't want to increase the size of the programs, and more students would go, and a greater charge to various communities. So
Right.
now we're having 12 kids go, that $150,000. If the increased enrollment as a result of these new programs, that number could go up to 20 students, then we'd have to come up with $250,000 to send kids, while we have a school system in town that we're trying to support as well.
Right.
So, you know, I think the majority of towns disagreed with that concept,
Okay,
so.
thank you.
Sure.
All right, first up, budget process. Again, as I mentioned, I believe at the last meeting or the meeting before, it's a lengthy process.
Yeah.
But of course, I have full confidence in you and the financial team, as well as the department heads are gonna put together yet another responsible budget. And hopefully it will be in as fast and as easy as last year's. With the barn, I'm in agreeance with everybody. Barns are nice, but this is not significant in terms of history or sentimentality. And to me, if it's sitting there and people could get into it, it's a detractive nuisance. People are gonna wanna go in there and check it out, and that, of course, leads to potential harm. And as you mentioned, the last thing we wanna have is someone fall through the floor and nobody knows they're there. So I would be in support of some type of disposal. Of course, if we could get some money for it, you know, that would be great, but if not, rather see it gone than anyone getting hurt. Chain of Lights, it was fantastic last year. Sam did a tremendous job. I know there was many new businesses that were added, and I'm confident this year, I'm sure there'll be more as well. So hopefully the weather cooperates and people come out and support this event, because it is just, it's a fun day. And everybody who's there always has smiles on their face, and you know, it's the beginning of Christmas season in Sutton, so please come on
And we'll
out.
have a tree lighting afterwards with the trees around the common, and hopefully a visit from Santa.
Yeah, the Lions are gonna come out, they're gonna decorate, I know that,
Yep.
and I'm sure, I think the Garden Club also participates in that. And yeah, and rumor has it that Santa is gonna make an appearance, but, you know, hopefully we have
He's
more
busy
kids
this
on
time.
the good list than the naughty list this year.
They all come from Mrs. Claus, not Santa.
Oh, that's true, that's true. Oh, yeah, on that note, yeah, and of course, thank you to Pam Nichols and company involved in the renovation of this room. I think it's definitely long overdue, and of course, thank you to our partners at Charter and Verizon for the technology upgrade, because it's nice. If you can see at home, I'm not sure, we don't have the cart in the middle of the
No,
chairs.
obviously
It's
that's
mounted, there's
there.
gonna be new cameras, there's new graphics that I can see up on
Character
the TV.
generators
Yeah,
working,
yeah,
this hot
so-
new technology.
We're moving into the 21st century in Sutton, so that's just wonderful, so thank you. All right, next up, we have announcements, Selectmen Roundtable, and correspondence and business topics. John,
I have none.
Dave,
I just have one thing. I think the whole board would like to congratulate David Payne and the entire girls soccer team for their state championship win over the weekend. First time in, 4 years, I think it is now? 13. And great job by them. Congratulations.
excellent, thank you. Mike?
That's the one I had. Another one was Happy Thanksgiving to all out there, and have a safe and merry holiday with the family and friends.
Thanks, Mike. I talked to Michelle. The food pantry is well stocked, and all those families that are gonna be drawing on it this week are going to have wonderful celebrations. So thank you to everyone in the community who over the last couple of weeks have been more than generous to make sure that those in need, will be able to be festive as well. And I'm going to second Mike on a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you're all safe and happy, and we'll see you in December. So that being the case, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes 4-0.
To thank all of my colleagues for an appropriate sized agenda for this evening.